surprise guest, and more on a Wednesday edition of Locked On Lions.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Matt Derry with you. It is another edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. NFC Championship Game Week edition on a Wednesday, January the 24th, in a Thursday, January 25th. Thanks for making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at Derry Speaks, at Locked On Lions, on Threads, The Real Matt Derry, Matt Derry Facebook fan page, and of course, please subscribe and check us out on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Coming up on the show today, we surprised you with a guest. We promised you a surprise guest. We will talk to said guest coming up momentarily here on the program. I think you will enjoy it. Locked On Lions today, brought to you by our friends at PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to PrizePicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use code all lowercase LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. A lot going on today. Certainly the biggest news of the day will continue to be for this matchup, Lions and Niners on Sunday at 6:30. The availability of wide receiver and really everything weapon Deebo Samuel for San Francisco. Samuel injured his shoulder Saturday night in the team's win over Green Bay. Today, head coach Kyle Shanahan says Samuel will not practice for the Niners, and his status remains unknown for Sunday. The other day, it was characterized as kind of a 50-50 proposition if Deebo Samuel will play. This is just a huge deal because Deebo adds so much to the party and brings so much to the table for the Niners, whether he's lined up in the backfield, whether he's lined up in the slot, whether he's out wide, in motion. The Niners utilize him like crazy on offense. They still have other weapons, all right? Christian McCaffrey, CMC is as good as it comes. Brandon Ayuk is a 1,000-yard receiver. George Kittle is arguably the best tight end in football. Certainly Travis Kelce can make an argument. Heck, our very own Sam Laporta is in that discussion too. But Deebo makes them go. Their numbers all come down offensively when Samuel is not on the field. And as we know, over the last few weeks, the Lions have not been able to handle number one receivers. Whether it was Justin Jefferson twice, CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, Mike Evans, that's been the Lions' Achilles heel. So as of right now, as of Wednesday, and we'll talk to Brian Peacock of Locked On 49ers tomorrow, as of today, no practice for Samuel. Maybe they hold him out all week and then he plays on Sunday. We'll see. But he injured that shoulder on Saturday night against the Packers. All the tests came back okay, but if it's still sore and if he's going to be taking shots on it, during the game, he may not be effective and he may not be able to play. Dan Campbell said something very interesting today, and I think he's spot on. He says, our defense is physical. Our defense has gotten better. We hit you. And then when asked what the biggest key to the game is going to be for his defense on Sunday and how they stop this 49ers offense, which is in the top 3 in most categories in the NFL, he said they got to stop the run, period. Whether it's a McCaffrey, whether it's Elijah Mitchell, whether it's Deebo, who carries the football from time to time, he says the Lions have got to stop the run if they are going to win this football game on Sunday. I don't disagree with him. A lot has been made about Aaron Glenn, future head coach Aaron Glenn, by the way, and the Lions defense and all the points they've given up and how bad they've been against the pass. But when you think about it, they've given up a lot of yards. Yes. They've given up a lot of yards through the air. Yes. But the run defense has been top 5. And when they needed to get stops against both the Rams and Bucks the last 2 weeks, and I know those were home games. All right. It's going to be different going on the road to Levi Stadium, but the Lions defense delivered inside the red zone, holding the Rams to 3 field goals. This past week, up 8, Bucks get the football. What do the Lions do? They force a turnover. Derek Barnes with the interception. And by the way, that video is making the rounds again of Andrew Whitworth talking about Derek Barnes, Just awesome. Where Andrew Whitworth, I think it was at the NFL awards ceremony, talked about how Derek Barnes in Cincinnati came up to him as a kid, and they talked at a Boys and Girls Club event or something. And Whitworth, then when the Rams played the Lions a couple of years ago, Barnes went up to Whitworth and grabbed him and said, "You might not know me or remember me, but what you said to me made a huge impact on my life when I was a kid." But it was pretty sweet. But regardless, those type of plays have been made by the Lions defense the last few weeks. You heard Mike Tirico last night. If you missed the pod from yesterday, go back and check out the voice of Sunday Night Football with us, Mike Tirico, which was an awesome get. And we appreciate Mike coming on. But he said it. Cam Sutton, especially in the second half, played better. All right. We know what the concerns are for the Lions. We know it's Sutton and Vildor and the corners. I mean, Brian Branch, to an extent, is kind of a hybrid, more of a slot corner, but the outside corners are definitely going to be something that we are worried about when it comes to the Lions. But you look at the Ravens defense, their front is unreal. Their linebackers are both going to the Pro Bowl. Where do we say Baltimore is kind of weak at corner? Lions are the same thing. But Dan Campbell's right. You win up front. You win up front. That's why the Lions have won 14 games this year. Right? That's why this team has been so successful. They win up front, especially with their offensive line. Defensive line has done a pretty good job. They've been stout, I'll use that term, against the run this year. Right? A little bit of a concern after the Bucs game because I thought White ran the ball better than anybody had run it in a while. But then by the end of the day, you look up, the Lions had outgained the Rams on the ground. Christian McCaffrey is a different bird. All right, you like Jahmyr Gibbs' cutback for the touchdown the other day? McCaffrey, man, especially sometimes when he gets that pitch back play, he makes cuts and makes plays that are special. And out of the backfield catching the football, he's as good as anybody. So I think Dan Campbell is right. No question about it. You've got to stop the run in order to win. Force Brock Purdy. Right? This isn't Joe Montana here. This isn't even Steve Young. You force Brock Purdy into third and longs. Make him make some throws. Let the Lions kind of get Aiden Hutchinson pinned ears back and getting after the quarterback. I think the Lions have a chance Sunday. I really do. I think they got a good shot. That line out in Vegas has stayed at 7. I think some of it is Lions having to travel, outdoors playing on grass, something the Lions have not done a ton this year. San Francisco almost due to play a much more complete game than they played Saturday night. They escaped Saturday night. They did not play well. Chase Young got abused Saturday night, got pushed around. Armstead played a poor game. Their secondary played a poor game. Love had time to throw. Aaron Jones was popping off runs left and right. Purdy was not sharp in the rain at times. Was lucky a couple of balls weren't intercepted. Kittle dropped passes Saturday night. You have to figure the Niners are going to bring their A game. But Lions have nothing to lose. No one's expecting them to win this game. I love the fact that they can go out west, kind of hunker down as a group, go together and try to do this thing and try to get to a Super Bowl for the first time ever. Can you imagine? And that crowd at Ford Field this Sunday, for those of you that are going to the watch party, I was talking to a guy yesterday that told me, "Oh yeah, watch party, I'm going. I got my tickets on StubHub." I was like, "Wait, what?" Crazy. Just awesome. Shout out to our everydayers that are out there. We appreciate you that watch and listen each and every day. Shout out to my guy, Joe Allen. Wife just had a baby girl. Congratulations to the Allen fam. And Joe always checks us out right here on Locked On Lions. All right, our surprise guest, I've kept it from you long enough, is coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. Today, Locked On Lions brought to you by PrizePicks. Here we go, daily fantasy sports. And I'm telling you, this weekend is going to be a lot of fun to get on PrizePicks. It's the easiest, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports because it's you against the numbers. You're not going up against other people. All right? You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. This weekend, everybody's going to be talking about it. All right, if Deebo plays, is he going to be 75 yards or more or less than in the passing game with the yardage? What about Patrick Mahomes as Kansas City goes to Baltimore? Lamar Jackson, 2 or more touchdowns. Is he going to go more? Is he going to go less? Whatever it is, you can gamble on it at PrizePicks. PrizePicks even offers a reboot policy that your entries stay in play, even if one of your players gets injured. For football and basketball games, there is NBA as well. If you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player gets rebooted. PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. They are awesome. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL. Use code LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. All right, folks, our surprise guest today, you see him on the screen for those watching on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel, the legend on this show, Craig Reynolds, Lions running back, is with us the week of the NFC Championship game. Craig, what's happening, bud?
Nothing much, man. Appreciate you guys for having me.
So the story goes with this podcast is that obviously I'm sure you've heard, but anytime you get the football, anytime something good happens, I always say on this podcast, going back to the movie Friday, come on, Craig, that's what I do when your name comes up. So fans love it. My Twitter blows up. I mean, your touchdown last week, I mean, come on, Craig was like nonstop. Solly and PR loves it. So we had to have you on. I hit up Solly and Maria and the crew, and here we are. It's great to see you.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support.
Have you heard it before? People yell it to you ever?
Oh, man, I get all the Friday quotes. Yeah, I get them all. It's nothing new.
You know, it's funny. Craig versus Deebo in the movie. Now we got Craig versus Deebo in real life. I mean, is this full circle or what?
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. I actually dressed up as Craig on Halloween going to the game against the Raiders in my security guard outfit. So yeah.
I love it. All right. So what has this been like for you? 3 years here, and you've been a part of this entire Dan Campbell run. But what has this season been like for you?
It's been a blessing, man. We got a great group of guys in the locker room. This is something we've talked about since, the OTAs starting up, and it's good to see, the hard work pay off. But at the same time, we realize the job's not done, man. We got a lot more work to do. We have a great opponent this Sunday in the 49ers, and we're excited to get after it.
Why the success this year? Did it surprise even you that you guys have won, 14 games this year, or was this kind of expected?
We knew what we wanted to do. We just had to put the work in, and we reaped the benefits of it. It's like I said, all started in OTAs. Our goals were set high. We knew what we were capable of. We knew we had the right people in the room to do it, and we just took it day by day and understand you can't skip anything in the process, and it comes with hard work. And it's just great to see, these things coming to light now.
Craig Reynolds with us, Lions running back, getting ready for the Niners on Sunday. Doesn't seem like anything changes, right, Craig? It just seems like every game, every opponent, whether it was the Stafford and the Rams thing, there was so much hype behind, but it just seems like you guys have the same focus each week. Where does that come from?
Definitely starts from the top, man. Dan's a great leader, putting us in the best situation throughout the week. Our coordinator's doing a great job getting the game plan to us. Position coaches harping on the details. And then just a locker room of guys that know what we're capable of, and we all share a common goal, and we do it for each other. So, we're excited.
Had Mike Tirico on the pod yesterday from NBC, who's obviously called the last couple of games, and he just said he can't remember being around a team and a fan base that has rallied, together to kind of help create this. He goes back to the Saints after Hurricane Katrina, but how much of those last two home games, how much of it getting the win was an advantage due to the fact that this fan base was just so loud?
Oh man, they came out, man. It was exciting. They were in full force. They were loud. We love playing at home. It gives them a lot of credit, man. The support that they've given us throughout these last 3 years, man. And we're thankful. We love home games. We're kind of disappointed this next one isn't home, but it is what it is. We're just going to try to go out there and make the fans proud, man.
You just mentioned it. Were you watching Saturday night rooting for the Packers? Was that kind of weird?
Definitely watching. I wouldn't say I was rooting for anybody. Just, getting keys and tips for whoever we played next. But yeah, never really rooting for anybody else.
Take me into that running back room. You got some good ones yourself, obviously, and what Jameer has done, and certainly David Montgomery. And what's it like being with those guys?
It's great, man. We push each other every day. Scotty's a great running back coach. But at the same time, we have fun, man. It's a real cohesive group. We joke, we laugh. But then when we go out in the field, it's time to work. We compete, man. We hold each other accountable. We coach each other up on little things, giving pointers, man. And it's a great room to be a part of. David, Jamar, Zonovan, who's on IR right now, it's just been a great room and a great year with these guys, and I've enjoyed it.
You get your first playoff carry the other day. It was a touchdown. I'm assuming you kept the ball, yes?
I threw it. I hope somebody has it. They said
What?
they had it. Yeah, I threw it. I was in the moment. I don't know. But you told me on the sideline somebody grabbed it. I haven't received it yet, but we'll see.
All right, we're going to have to work on that. Craig Reynolds is with us. It's interesting with that room because there are times, and you know this, especially with social media, it's like, all right, David Montgomery has a really good drive or two, and let's say, yeah, but where's Gibbs? Gibbs plays well. Yeah, but we need, Monty out there. Or, hey, Craig Reynolds needs some carries. But it doesn't seem like for the three of you it matters. Is that something that comes from Scotty Montgomery, or are you just all built that way?
I feel like we're just all built that way, unselfish. Doing whatever the team asks, and being a part of the game plan, however it's drawn up, knowing that it's bigger than just our own personal goals or what we want. We're, like I said, we coach each other up. We're excited. We celebrate together. We joke with each other when, things come up. We're just a cohesive room, man. There is no jealousy. There is no issues, man. We could care less about the numbers and the stats or whatever, man. We're just a group of guys that want to win, most importantly, and have fun doing it. And that's one thing that we have been able to do this year. So,
did you know? I mean, like I said, you have bounced around with some other teams' practice squad. Heck, you were on the Lions practice squad. But in 2021, did you have a sense that, yeah, in 2 years we could be in this position? Did you, or is this just like, man, this has been a whirlwind too quick?
No, you could definitely see it. I could see the vision that they were trying to build. Like I said, I'm blessed to be a part of it. When I first got here, you could just tell things were different. This is my fourth team. So, being on three other teams, it's nice to you just feel something different. And I try to tell other guys that have just been only here that it's not like this in other places, man. From the fan love, from how Dan runs the place, it's just a great environment, a great city to be a part of.
How much of it is Jared Goff too?
Oh, JG's the man. Great leader, great quarterback, commands the huddle, everything you need in a quarterback. And he's also a great person, like just off the field, joking with him, messing around with him, love playing for him. And he works hard, man. He works real hard. And that's just some of the stuff that, people on the outside don't see. And he's tough, man. He's a tough person. He's been through a lot. And it's just great to go out there and play with him and have him leading us.
Craig Reynolds with us, final couple of minutes. This is not going to be an easy game Sunday. What scares you about when you watch the tape? What scares you about what the Niners bring defensively?
They're a great team in all three phases, man. And, I feel like we pride ourselves on that as well. It's a great challenge ahead. They have a great defense. Everybody knows that, but I feel like we're an explosive offense as well. We're confident in what we bring to the table. And it's just going to be a great game Sunday. Like I said, we're excited, man. It's a great challenge, We're willing to step in the ring with anybody, so it's going to be fun.
I absolutely love it. I think it's great. It's interesting. Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn both kind of interviewing at the same time as this stuff's going on, but those guys are head coaches in your mind, I'm assuming, right?
They're great leaders, man. Great coaches. They get the most out of their players, and they do their job well, man. Schematically, they put the why in so the players know exactly what's going in, why we're doing it, what we're trying to do to the other team. So just seeing it on both ends, going against Aaron Glenn in practice daily and seeing what they do. It's great stuff, man. And they put teams in predicaments and they make it difficult for opponents. So Yeah.
It's got to be exciting, my friend. Congrats on all of this. Appreciate the time. By the way, we were all very worried after the last cut down. Did you know? I don't know if you, I haven't read this. Did you know that you were staying because they had to kind of release you and then bring you back to the roster? Was that like scary, or they're like, "Hey, you're going to be fine. We're going to bring you back"?
Yeah, they told me that was going to happen. The way the NFL works, I don't know, but yeah, they told me that was going to happen. It was more just like family and friends saying like, "Oh my gosh, like
Right.
sorry to hear that, blah blah," and then you got to explain. It got to the point where just copy and pasting like what exactly was happening and just sending would reach out. But yeah, I wasn't tripping or anything.
Yeah.
I had full confidence.
It just seems like everybody loves it here. Guys like Vaitai and others get hurt and they stick around where they could easily just go home and they want to be a part of it. That tells you something about the culture there.
No, it's a great culture, man. Like I said, I'm happy to be a part of it. And it comes from the city, and we're just excited, man. We're just very excited.
Well, we'll continue to do the whole "Come on, Craig" thing for you. We love you, and thanks for coming on, man. The week of this game, huge stuff. Good luck Sunday, and stay healthy. All right,
my dog. I appreciate you. God bless.
How about that, folks? Craig Reynolds, he's the man. Awesome to see him and talk to him. I want to talk more about that coming up next here. That was amazing. Thanks to the Lions for hooking that up. Locked On Lions today, brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance, from superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. It's amazing. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay's Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your car every time, or you get your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. All right, back on Locked On Lions, thanks to Craig Reynolds. Come on, Craig. Came on the show. Come on. Thank you, Eamon Reynolds, Solomon Williams, Maria Patton, Lions Media Relations. They know. They know what number 13 means to this show and to this podcast. Let's go. Come on, Craig. Awesome guy. What a nice guy. I forgot that he dressed up as Craig from Friday, Ice Cube's character, on Halloween. That was awesome. And by the way, I heard on the St. Brown podcast today with Amon-Ra and his brother that Craig wasn't even supposed to be on the field for that 4th and 1. He ran out there. There was some sort of mistake, and he just grabbed the ball and went and scored. And if anybody has that football, can you get it to him, please? He'll sign you another one and probably get you some stuff. Contact the Lions. That's awesome. I love what Craig Reynolds said about Jared Goff. There's this narrative. We all know what it is, right? Jared Goff can't win on the road, outdoors. Jared Goff's only good inside in domes. Jared Goff struggles against the Niners. They've always had his number. Crack research staff tells me the following on Jared Goff. First of all, on grass this season, Jared Goff was sacked 15 times in the 5 games the Lions played on grass this year, including 5 at Baltimore and 4 at Chicago, which of course were both losses. Now, is that Goff or is that the offensive line? Something to keep an eye on for this Sunday, especially against Nick Bosa, Chase Young, Armstead, and that group. Goff against the Niners in his career is 3-6, 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, a passer rating of 89.0. Now, look, Goff the last 2 weeks has been off the charts, and his passer rating's been one game, I think, over 100, and the other one right at 100, right? Or a little bit lower. He's 2-2 at Levi Stadium, so he's won there. Remember, Jared Goff is a Northern California kid, played at Cal. All right, he's coming home. He doesn't want to embarrass himself in front of his friends and family. They're going to be there, so that should be cool. 1-1 on the road as a starter in the playoffs. Remember, a couple of years ago, he had the injured finger, came in relief, and the Rams won against Seattle. But all in all, it's not, I mean, Jared Goff is 3-6 lifetime against the Niners. It's not like he's 1-8 or 0-9. All right. He's won games against the Niners. He's won games at Levi Stadium. If the offensive line can keep him upright and this offense is clicking and doing what they do, and I get it, right? They went to Baltimore, it was a complete disaster. All right. They went to Chicago, wasn't a good scene. They're going to be playing outside on grass. It's probably why the Niners are a 7-point favorite. The Lions right now are playing really, really well. They're playing physical, and I think they can run the football like Green Bay did on this Niner defense. That then will open up things for Goff. And again, I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again. My biggest concern is Goff likes to live in the middle of the field. Likes to find Amon-Ra St. Brown on a slant. He likes to find Laporta on a little, backyard button hook just to stop and go, whatever it is. And those guys, the Lions don't have a lot of threats outside. There was the one play against Tampa this past weekend where Jamison Williams ran a nice little sideline route. And those are the kind of plays that might be where the Lions go more this weekend than usual because Greenlaw and Warner are so good in the middle of the field as linebackers. Those guys can really play. But we want to thank Craig Reynolds. Tomorrow, Locked On Crossover, Brian Peacock from Locked On Niners will join us right here on Locked On Lions. Thanks for making us your first listen. Checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to our everydayers who are out there. We are back again tomorrow. Come on, Craig.